I don't really know how to intro this, so we're just going to skip straight into what is quite possibly the worst police department policy I have ever seen in my entire life. Now, I'm only 27 years old, so some of you are going to be like, oh, I've seen way worse in my time. But this policy is absolutely insane, and the training that they're giving these officers is going to get people killed that should not be shot. Let's jump into it.
Shooting to disarm or injure instead of shooting to kill a suspect. This is what LaGrange Police Department is training officers to do right now. The new policy comes as activists demand policing reform. The chief says deputies are typically trained to shoot at the chest or at the head. This training teaches officers to aim below the torso.
This is an alternative that will be able to be applied in a way that preserves life and at the same time preserves that necessary ingredient for public safety, which is the public trust and confidence. As we develop different practices, we share those and we all learn from each other, and I think this will be just another opportunity to do that.
LaGrange is hoping other law enforcement agencies follow their lead. The chief says they have already heard from departments in Albany and Gwinnett County who want to.
For those of you that know absolutely anything when it comes to use of lethal force, you probably cringed about as hard as I did during that whole video. Here's the deal. Whether or not you're a police officer or not, when it comes to the legalities, now I'm not a lawyer, this isn't legal advice, generally the only time that you can shoot someone in many states is when you have reasonable belief of great bodily injury or harm. And the only time you can use a gun, which is lethal force, a gun, if you employ it against someone, is lethal force. It doesn't matter if you fire a warning shot. It does not matter if you shoot him in the leg. If you use a gun against someone, whether offensively or defensively, you are initiating lethal force. You see people like President Biden and big figureheads in the media say, just shoot him in the leg. Well, here's the thing about legs, this big meaty muscle right there. Inside that is massive arteries that, if severed, will lead to death. Shooting someone is never an option when you don't accept the fact that them dying is an acceptable outcome. You shoot to stop a threat. You don't shoot to kill. And that is accurate. They said that they are trying to stop the threat. And instead of shooting to kill, they're trying to shoot to stop the threat. The thing is, that's what everybody has always been doing. You're not shooting someone because you enjoy the act of killing someone. You're shooting because they are a threat to you, and lethal force is the only acceptable option that you have to actually stop that threat. If you shoot someone in the legs, or if you shoot someone and you say, well, I didn't want to kill him, I just wanted to hurt him a little bit, what you're saying is that you did not think that them dying was an acceptable outcome. Trying to shoot someone in the leg is just a flawed concept from start to finish. One, the firearm, using a firearm in self-defense is still always lethal force. Two, shooting someone in the leg is not a safe location to shoot someone. There is no truly safe way to shoot someone because it is lethal force. If I put a hole through your femoral artery, you're probably going to die if you don't get medical attention. If I shoot you in the pelvis, you're not going to be having a very good time. You could potentially still hit someone in the spine, permanently paralyzing them when they might not need to use a gun. This is the worst logic I have ever seen. I can't believe that a police chief went on camera after enacting a policy like this, thinking that it was a good idea. How do you get that high up into a police department where you are the one training people and implementing policies that are going to get innocent civilians killed? They need to spend more time giving officers the training that they need to handle things without lethal force. Am I saying that they should not have guns? Absolutely not. I think that there are many times where lethal force is necessary. However, I think that if the only training you're giving them is with a hammer, everything's going to start to look like a nail. They need to train them in things like jiu-jitsu, unarmed combat, knife training and disarming and that kind of stuff. I think those are excellent skills to give the police officers, but unfortunately we know that with the whole defund the police, In addition to the fact that they weren't funded enough in the proper ways to actually have that kind of training, it's very difficult for these officers to get the skills that they need outside of just basically hitting a small target at 5 yards. The police officers that are doing a good job out there are most likely seeking out their own private training to get them the skills that they need. And that's unfortunate. This is a waste of taxpayer dollars, and it's going to get someone hurt or maybe even killed. Moral of the story is, if shooting someone and them dying is not an acceptable outcome, don't shoot them. I'm not saying that you need to enjoy the idea of using lethal force against someone, but shooting them in the leg because you don't want to kill them only says that maybe you didn't need to actually kill them to stop the threat. And that's what guns are. They're lethal force. Simple as that. I can't believe that it got this far. I can't believe that this is actually being presented and that other agencies are also interested in this training. Think about how hard it is to shoot someone when they're running around like a wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man. This is terrible advice. I can't believe that a police department is actually implementing it, and it just blows me away. You guys know the drill though. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. Ooh, I'm a little sweaty. It's hot in here. I am very sunburnt. Thank you to everyone that came out to the Armed in May event. We had 1,200 people on Saturday and about 500 or 600 on Sunday. I'm blown away with the turnout. Meeting Anthony was, for the first time, was awesome. We've talked a lot, behind the scenes on through messaging and whatnot, but it was super cool meeting all of you guys, seeing the support that we had from the community, as well as the support from the vendors. They gave away a Tommy built T-36, Rifle Supply gave away a bunch of guns, Surefire and Safariland supported a bunch, Cross Industries, Strike Industries, AR Maglock, a ton of other companies, USCCA, San Diego County Gun Owners, Riverside County Gun Owners, and so many other companies that I can't name just right now. I just want to say thank you. The support was huge. I'm so blown away with where we've gone in just such a short time. When we started making videos, I don't think either Anthony or I thought that it would get to the point where we are now. And I'm so thankful that we've been able to make an impact. Seeing how many people I met over the weekend that said that they built their first AR or bought their first gun because they were comfortable doing it after seeing our videos, that's huge. That's why I do it. I want people to get to that next level, because in California, if you aren't already into guns, if you don't have family members into guns, it's pretty confusing, and it can be intimidating for some people who've only ever heard about the bad things that guns do in the media or in the movies. And getting that barrier of entry from here to here and allowing people to make that step and get into it, it's just, I'm happy that we've been able to make an impact. Thank you, everyone. I hope that you all stay politically active when it comes to your gun rights and are aware of what's going on in this world. And I'm thankful that you guys have been so supportive of me. Thank you.